So it's been a few months since I've hit my first $100,000 per month wholesaling real estate. And I just want to talk about it and share some real insight with you guys because I've talked to a few of you that watch my videos, and I just want to share some knowledge that I know is going to help you and just give you context about like what it actually takes. So we have no fancy setup today. I'm not in my office. I'm actually in Dubai. I've been traveling for close to a month with my wife, and all of this is possible thanks to the real estate business. And I just want to talk to you guys about it, right? Because kind of just looking back, I don't give myself enough grace about what I've been able to accomplish in such short time. And honestly, I just didn't think it was going to be possible for someone like me, because I would see all these gurus talking about it, but I never really believed it would happen until I was actually doing the work. So since we've done it and this is what we're doing every month, I can see the exact same steps that I took and the successful people are taking in order to basically get to $100,000 every single month. Now, there is no magic pill. You're gonna have to work very hard and very smart. So I just hope that you can learn from my mistakes and get something of value with this video in order to just helping you scale to your goal in business. I do have some notes here, that way I just don't yap all on this video. So just to give you a little bit of context, I didn't start with a bunch of money or have like an inheritance or anything. I just want to take you back on how I started. So I remember my first job when I was like 15, 16. I was cleaning the restrooms at a gym. And then my job after that was working at a yogurt shop where I would make $100 per week. And then when I was in college, I was a server. So I was a server for like 4 years. And then that ended in like 2017. So I was never someone special. Right after college, my first job was I worked as a car salesman in a car dealership back in my hometown. And that helped me out a lot, not because of the skills, but because every time that I would get to work, I knew that I was not meant to be there. And I would just think, what the heck am I doing here? And I feel like a lot of you guys can relate to that. But that's what really pushed me to, better myself and get into something that I actually liked. So right after that, I had a meal prep business. That was my first taste of entrepreneurship, but I didn't know anything about business, but that still did okay. And then after that, I sold solar, and that was 2020, 2021. So in 2022 is when I decided that I wanted to get into real estate, because I would see these guys flipping houses making 20, 30K per deal. And I was like, well, that sounds pretty good. And I always knew that I wanted to get into real estate. So those were kind of like my first few steps into entrepreneurship and the steps that I took in order to get into real estate. And now, like, honestly, I work 1 hour a week. My team handles everything with a wholesaling business, and that's what allowed me to travel. So like I said, like I've been traveling for a month. I can't wait to get back home and actually work. But the main thing is like, I'm nothing special. Like I'm from a border town in the south of Texas. Like I was raised in Mexico, like a little city called Rio Bravo. Like people from where I'm at, like they don't get successful. So I just want to talk about like the things that actually will make you money and make you successful. So you can just take it however you want. But with that being said, like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm not anything special, but I think what I do have is an unlimited belief of myself, and it can be pretty dumb at times, but by how much belief I have in myself. And I know that I can do anything that I set my mind to because I'm willing to outwork everyone. And I think if you have the same mindset, you'll be able to do the same things, right? Now, the starting point in real estate was 2022. I bought my first couple houses. I borrowed money from my brother. So I invested in coaching right from the beginning, and I put that on a credit card. So I knew that it was going to work out because it was up to me by putting in the work. So 2022, I started, I think I've made a video on this already, but I started at the worst time because that's when the real estate market shifted. Interest rates went from 2% to 7% in a couple of months. And whatever I thought those houses were going to sell for ended up selling much less, and they were at a loss. But by applying the information and actually getting my feet wet, it allowed me to do multiple deals that first year. So that first year, I think I made $120,000. And I put that money straight away into scaling my business. Like I wasn't qualified to get into the coaching that I was getting to. So I got into a coaching for newbies, and then I got one for like experienced people. But what that allowed me to do was to fast track my learning curve, because I knew about how to hire people, how to reverse engineer my business, how the marketing works, how the sales process worked. And I was able to apply all of this into my own business. And my first full year wholesaling real estate, I made $800,000 without knowing anything. So imagine that. I went from making 50, 60K to $700,000 plus, in a couple of years. And I don't know, just thinking back, it's like crazy. And I feel like a lot of the times, like I said, like it doesn't really register like what I'm doing. I just see it as default. And I'm grateful for like all the learnings and like where I'm at and what I'm able to accomplish. But then I've also made so many mistakes. But right after 2023, 2024, that's when things got a little bit harder. We still grew in revenue. And basically I want to talk to you about the breakthrough moment that made me actually like start getting more consistency. And that was after having a couple of losses with the deals, because I think I was just like hustling and not thinking like an actual business owner. But that takes years in order to get to that point. And you got to go through enough pain where you tell yourself, okay, I'm sick and tired of not being where I want to be, and I'm ready to take on the actions that are going to take me to where I want to go. Because I can guarantee that most of you guys know exactly what it is that you need to do. You're just not doing it. Either that, or you don't have the belief in yourself that is going to work out. So there's a few things that I want to talk to you about what it takes to get to $100,000 per month. But basically, there's a lot of BS advice out there, and I just kind of want to go over it, right? So the main thing that's going to take you to $100,000 per month is going to be your mindset. If you don't believe that it's going to happen, no one is going to do it for you. You got to believe that it's doable. And then two, you need to find a blueprint that you can follow in order to just put in the work and do it. And that's why I love coaching. I've invested over $200,000 in coaching to get better, and every single time has given me a positive ROI. Why? Because you're able to unlock skills that are going to make you more money and make you better as a business owner. And there's always new things that you need to learn in order to put into your business. But the reality of things is I was chasing for deals instead of attracting them, right? And you can't get to $100,000 per month by chasing after people, doing cold calling. You actually need systems, you need a team, and you need predictable lead flow so that you can have multiple opportunities in order to get there. And I knew that I had to invest money into learning the skills that I didn't have. So that's why I'm a big fan of coaching. So your mindset has to be on point. You gotta basically decide for yourself, because like if there's people already doing it, if I'm doing it, like I'm nothing special. Like we all put on our pants the same way. And the more that you believe in yourself, the easier that it's going to be and the quicker that it's going to be. Now, there's five pillars that I want to talk about of what it takes to get to $100,000 per month. Number one is you need to have inbound marketing channels as opposed to outbound marketing channels. So instead of chasing after them, you need to get them to talk to you, right? And we do that with Facebook ads. I'm a super fan of Facebook ads. We get anywhere from 50 to 80 leads a week at $20 to $30 per lead. And then I train my team to close these opportunities, and then all we need is 20 to 25 leads to get a contract that is making us 15 to 20K per month. And like I said, I don't need to scale the business that high. I mean, I'm spending 10K per month and closing over $100,000 while being able to travel and do all these things. So you guys can do this yourselves as well. You just need to know about like your numbers, your conversions, and all that stuff, which I'll talk in the next few steps. And you need to talk about the ROI, right? So if you invest X amount in marketing, how much money are you getting out of it? So number one is having a solid marketing system that is giving you and feeding you opportunities so that you can put deals on the contract in order for you to sell them. Number two is going to be a replicable sales process. Like I see a lot of people just winging it and, okay, let me send you the offer and all that stuff. But when you actually learn exactly about the seller psychology and why people sell, what questions to ask, why to ask them, and then just basically how to position your offer as a solution to their problems, you're going to get more deals. Like there's no way that you don't. And this is exactly how we're able to get one deal for every 4 to 5 offers that my team sends out. And doing it that way, like I don't need to spend a ton of money and have all these different marketing channels, because I can just focus on checking on my team to make sure that they're doing the things that I told them, that I paid for in coaching, so that they just apply it and get these deals, right? And that's exactly how we make 15 to 20K per deal because of that sales system. So once you learn that and then you have the predictable marketing, I mean, you're already basically just winning. Now, after that, sales and marketing can take you to 3 to 5 deals per month. And then after that, you probably want to build a team so that you can buy some of your time back. My team is only 6 people and they're trained and they're systematic. So I've invested a lot of money to give them resources and processes so that they know exactly what to do while I am out traveling. And you guys can do this exact same thing. Have lead managers, acquisition, dispo, and TC, very small, very lean, very efficient. Now, my job with the company, I'm in charge of the marketing and just overseeing everything and holding the team accountable. I have a manager in place that talks to the team, but I basically sit at the top with the marketing and the direction, and then my team follows through with whatever the goal is in order to make sure that it happens. But you're not going to attract A people unless you yourself become an A player. So that's why it's very important that you invest into skills to level up your level of entrepreneurship so that these people want to work with you, and you got to be able to feed them with opportunities. Now, the other pillar is going to be tracking KPIs, because yes, you can make $200, $300, $400,000 a year hustling, but in order to scale, you're going to have KPIs. What do I mean by KPIs? You need to know your lead to contract ratio. What's your average cost per lead? How many leads you need to get a contract? How many appointments you need to set for your team? How many offers you need to send out in order to get to your goal? And all of that needs to be reverse engineered. I have made a video on that already, so look for it. It's like the marketing system that 10x our profits, something like that. So once you're able to reverse engineer, you know exactly how much money you need to spend in order to get to your goal. And you gotta have the funds to spend in the marketing, to invest in the marketing. If you don't have the marketing and you don't have the skills, the best use of your money is learning exactly how to get to the next level, or invest in marketing to get the opportunities. In wholesaling, I mean, we need to pay for marketing. There's no way that you're gonna get free deals just like talking to people. I mean, you'll get a couple, but it's not gonna be replicable and it's not going to be consistent. So by tracking your KPIs, you'll be able to make smart decisions, and you don't have to be guessing about what's going to work and what's not going to work. You just basically do the math, and then you stick to the plan and you do it and you follow through until it happens. And if something is missing, you see what the issue is and then you fix it. That's where your skill as an entrepreneur, comes into play, so that you are able to identify what's working and what's not working. Pillar number 5, I would say it's continuous education. So to this day, I still invest heavily in more coaching, because I'm not done yet. Like, I feel like I'm barely getting started in my entrepreneurial journey, and I'm not where I want to be. Like, I want to have crazy goals, and I know I'm not going to get there by just being average and being content with what I have. Yes, I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. And it's our job as humans to always keep on progressing and pushing for the next level, because that's what life is, right? And I feel like a lot of people have fear of failure. Now, failure is just in your mind. The only way that you fail is basically when you die. Because like, if you set out to do something and you don't achieve it, you can still try again. And every failure has a lesson. And the more lessons that you have, the more that you're going to become. So either you learn or you win, and you don't quit until you hit your goals. So by always investing, I'm always able to level up myself, learn new skills, and make more money. And like I said, I'm always pushing through to achieving new things. So like right now, we're increasing the marketing because I feel like I've dominated, kind of like my market, and I want to grow bigger, and it's my duty to do that. And I want to invest in more skills, and I want to have more skills. So that's the way that I see education. I know a lot of you guys are afraid to do that, but it's one of the best decisions that I have made. And I would suggest that you guys invest into whatever, whether you want us to help you or not, that we help wholesalers, or you want our help or someone else's. I just, recommend that you guys look for a mentor so that you can fast track your way to success. Now, the reality is that this is not a get quick scheme, right? It took me 2 years to get to $100,000 per month. And I know that it would have been easier if I would have started tracking my KPIs, holding the team accountable, and getting the skills sooner rather than later. But just know that it's going to take like hard work and doing it smartly. You need to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. You're gonna have losses, you're going to mess up, but that's okay. As long as you never quit, you're gonna get to your goal. And like I said, like the biggest battles are usually mental. If you can push through the pain of like suffering and saying, oh, I suck, or I don't know how I'm gonna get there, like the sooner that you kill those limited beliefs, the quicker that you're going to be able to take action. Because like in the end, wholesaling is just like marketing and sales. You know, you need leads, you need to talk to people, you need to send out offers, you need to put deals on the contract, and you need to sell them as quick as possible. And you need to repeat that cycle over and over in order for you to get to your goal. Very simple. And the moment that everything changed was in 2024. Just looking at my KPIs and like my closed revenue, like I was making like all this money, but I was not keeping a lot of the money because like I was not tracking it. And that's what made me realize that I needed to have control over my marketing. So that's when I brought my marketing in-house. And that's when the returns just went crazy. I went from a 4x return on ad spend to over 10x in ad spend with the same marketing spend. So all of that was like extra profit that I'm able to keep in my business instead of just like spending all this money on these other marketing channels. So it rather be on my pocket rather than, you know, in other marketing channels. So start a marketing channel, then your sales process, and then your team, and focus on what it is that you actually want to build. The other time is like, you know, plan for things. So plan for 6 to 12 months of consistent investment and action, and don't do anything else until you achieve that. The other thing I would say is like find a mentor, whether it's us or someone that you trust. If you find a mentor, they're gonna take you through what it actually takes, and you're able to cut the learning curve in half so that you can get to your goals quicker. The other thing is like start measuring your KPIs daily, if not weekly. That way you have a clear picture of where you're at and what you need to change in order to get there. Now, if I can do this and all the people that you see online are doing it, so can you. And I believe in you. I just followed a proven process. I took the best from every coach and I put it into my own, and then I did things differently in order for it to serve my business how I wanted to instead of the other way around. So if you are, you know, hearing this and you're like, hey, well, how can I get to a good place? Well, we actually help a handful of wholesalers scale from $50,000 to $100,000 per month by spending $2,000 to $6,000 in ads. So if you want our help and you want to implement our marketing system, sales process, and KPI tracker in order for you to, you know, fast track your way to success, book a call down below. I want to help you. I want to talk to you. This is not for people that are just starting out. These are for people that are already doing deals and just want to, you know, they just want an easier way of getting to that $100,000 per month mark. So I hope you guys like this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.